Well, howdy there, guys. Welcome to Stewie MTG, here with Stewie and my girls.
Hello.
Alrighty, and today we have Talrand the Sky Summoner as part of our 32 deck challenge. The blue cards. With that, Talrand is a 4-mana 2/2 Merfolk Wizard with the ability whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, create a 2/2 blue Drake creature token
Drakes.
with flying. In this deck, predominantly instants and sorceries, spellsling or tribal, but we are going to be drawing a lot of cards. So we are going to need ways to keep those cards in our hand. The first one up is going to be Wizard class. Mainly for the first ability of you have no maximum hand size. If you want to pump mana into it later, you can. It's not a big deal. Next up, we have Reliquary Tower. Also, one of the non-drakes that are in this deck is Curiosity Crafter, mainly for the ability you have no maximum hand size, and whenever your creature token you control deals common damage to a player to draw a card, keeps fueling cards in our hand. We've got ourselves a spellbook. The new Decanter of Endless Water for no maximum hand size. And then, last but not least, Thought Vessel, also to keep the cards in our hands. Next up, we have a little bit of mana ramp, not a whole lot. We've got ourselves a Sky Diamond and a Spell Satchel. We're going to be slinging a ton of spells, so we should be able to stick a bunch of counters on it to be able to remove them for drawing cards later on in the game. With that, there's a few key artifacts to help us along our journey. And the first one is Kefnet's Monument.
Who's Kefnet?
Is a god from Amonkhet.
Blue
creature spells you cast cost one less to cast. So this is reducing our drakes because predominantly they're 3 and 4 mana costs. But mainly this is in here is whenever we cast a creature spell, it allows us to tap down our opponents. A little bit of mana reduction. And the next artifact we have is Key to the City to help create either a commander or some of our drakes to become unblockable, as well as the possibility of card draw. And since we're drawing so many cards, we might as well have a Psychosis Crawler. Power and toughness equal to the number of cards in our hand, but whenever we draw a card, each opponent loses 1 life. We have, before we get to the drakes, we have just a few non-drakes. The first one up is Archetype of Imagination. This actually, the last time this deck was played against me. And our friend actually played this and won the game with his Drake tokens because my Flying Angels couldn't block because they lost flying.
They lost flying.
Yep.
Wow.
Warden of Evil Isle is to reduce the cost for our drakes. And lastly, in this category, Maggots of the Future is pseudo card draw, revealing the top card of our library. If it's we have mana reducers and our ability to just continue playing off the top of our deck. A few enchantments to help us along the same idea is the enchantment version of Future Sight. I'm sorry about that. Hannah keeps bumping stuff. Oops. Future Sight is the creature version of the last thing of what we just saw. Next up, we've got Arcane Melee. It's mainly to reduce the cost of our instants and sorcery spells by 2. Also, we have Jace's Sanctum. Instant and sorcery spells cost 1 less. And whenever you play one, we get to scry 1. So if we don't need lands, we can shove stuff at the bottom. That combined with, Future Sight allows us to really dig through our deck. We've got Reconnaissance Mission, card draw when all of our creatures dealing damage, and favorable winds to make those tokens a little bit buffer.
I have that in my Griffin deck.
No, you don't. Not that one.
I thought so.
No.
Oh, no, that was my Unicorn deck.
Yes. Reflections of Littjara is to give us double of our drakes as we play them. And speaking of our drakes...
Ooh, drakes.
Next.
Are drakes like dragons' cousins or something?
Kinda. We have ourselves Seacoast Drake. We've got Ikite, Cerulean Drake.
Cerulean City, Pokemon.
Yep, Scrapskin Drake. That's what I thought, Hannah, when I first saw it. Academy Drake. Skywinder Drake. The Aerial Guide. Loyal Drake.
Drakes are...
Spiketail Hatchling. A backup counterspell. Snapping Drake. Tide Skimmer. Azure Drake. Thunder Drake. Windstorm Drake. Shimmer Scale Drake. Skyline Predator. And the last of the Drakes, Angler Drake. Now on to our massive amounts of instants and sorceries. We'll first start off with our counter spells. With Stubborn Denial. Force Spike.
Oh no.
Counterspell.
I need to learn how to aim. You're right.
Yep.
See?
We've got
I was right in most
Thassa's Rebuff. Spell Siphon.
That is also one of my favorites.
Dissolve.
Ooh.
Arcane Denial. You'll Find the Villain's Lair. Unwind. Dismiss. Last of our counter spells. And now with our cantrips as well as control spells,
Ooh.
we have ourselves a Peek, a Ponder, an Opt, Gridlock, excuse me, Fading Hope, Serum Visions, Brainstorm, hold on, Hannah. There we go. Preordain, Void Stare, Bluster Squall,
Oh, gosh.
Vapor Snag, Unsummon, Mana Vapors, Strategic Planning, Curse of the Swine, Flood of Recollection, a Boomerang, Raven Form, Distant Melody, and Sleep.
Sleep's one of my favorites. Whoops.
And now for our non-basic lands. Lonely Sandbar, Terramorphic Expanse,
Oh no.
Mystic Sanctuary, Biblioplex, Ghost Quarter, Evolving Wilds, Halimar Depths, Path of Ancestry, Remote Isle, and lastly,
Oh no.
Desert of the Mindful. With that, this has been our Drake Tribal with Talrand. Stay tuned as we look at our combination, basically our Scry commanders of Eligeth and Siani. With that, we'll catch you guys later. This has been Stewie MTG.